Thank you. Thank you, Terry. Thank you for the invitation, especially Elena and Elizabeth Arsenio. Yeah, this is I don't know if this is a very catchy title, as Elena was telling me, but now I'm going to take David's idea about, I'm going to borrow your idea about this, the city is stupid. So we're going to talk about the city of the future a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about what I call economic territory. It's not the physical territory, it's not the biological, let's put money on it. No? And then we understand the decisions of the stakeholders, everybody, the users, the operators, and the administrations too, when we put money on the territory. So we look for sustainable, safe, and efficient urban mobility. Intelligent, it's okay, because nobody wants to be stupid, except for that person that Bill Clinton was addressing the question to. But the question is, we want to be intelligent as long as it's useful and cost efficient, is what a little bit what has been said. Here you have this picture of some Europe at night, and we can see this continuum with the lights, no, of this the economic territory, where the territory that is it has cities, corridors, and I put always this idea from the theory of relativity, no? That once we have a city or a corridor, the territory, economic territory, is deformed a little bit, like the mass deforms the space and the time. And next city or next extension or next bypass will likely be attracted towards that part that has been deformed. You see the picture on your right is a world map where the distance is the money, is the cost of transport. You see how Europe is very small, United States, North America in general is very small, and some other countries or continents are not so small, because the cost is still very large. This is what companies want, and this is what we do want also, and this is not very. It doesn't. We need to get a trade-off with sustainability, because most of the world banks, they always have a division about promoting logistics, because they want to promote the movement of trade of goods at a low price, so that we can enjoy, quotation marks, this globalization. But as somebody said, actually Michael Kramer, maybe this low cost of transport that as users we really enjoy too, because we want to go to the supermarket, we want to go to a department store and to buy things cheap, and maybe the things are produced somewhere else, far away, is contrary to what this proximity economy that we would enjoy, taking care of the environment. In some restaurants, they already put this kilometer zero cuisine, with local produce. So these concepts of seamless door-to-door mobility is something that we have been talking about. City as a generic concept, of course, all cities are different, but they have more or less the same problems. Yeah. Oh, so, good. Here I put this mutation in urban mobility. It's a mutation that is not new. Actually, I've been saying this like 15 years since 15 years ago. This change from functionalism to sustainability concepts, no? From urban sprawl to compact city, etc. You have here many philosophical changes. They looked pretty urgent many years ago. Not all of them. We are approaching towards the change, but little by little. Democratization of the street, human convivial cities, diversity, integration, etc. From infrastructures to services, from objects to processes, all this is much more difficult. From static to dynamic, from recurrent commuter behavior to singularity, from events to common situations. And here I put this example of Barcelona. Of course, it's the city where I come from, but this is a singular example. If I didn't come from Barcelona, I think it's worth to mention. This guy that looks like the Count Dracula was a civil engineer, was the father of the city planning, Ildefons Cerdà. He had a chance, a strange chance, and he took advantage of that. And he spent his life and his fortune to develop the city planning in a quantitative point of view. Starting to implement the extension, the broadening of Barcelona, and writing a book about city planning. Was a specific chance due to military reasons. We lost a war against Spain and France in 1714. We had the support from Austria, Germany, and England, but England was convinced by Spain by giving them Gibraltar. So now that Spain says, well, give me Gibraltar back, now this belongs to 1713, is the Treaty of Utrecht, so that England didn't send armies to Barcelona, then Spain and France could conquer Barcelona. Since we lost the war, we had the medieval city. They forbid, of course, they forbid everything, no, speaking Catalan and everything, but they forbid that the city would grow beyond the walls, the medieval walls. So that created a situation of very high density, very high pressure, a lot of health problems, and empty space, because the cannons wouldn't have, couldn't reach beyond the city walls. No? So after 140 years, they decided, okay, well, now it's about time to cover this space. No? And this guy started making a nice planning of what, here I put as an example, the MIT is rediscovering the city, which is the city that this guy designed it already. No? If we want a city that is livable, okay, we need some density, but not skyscrapers. We need blocks that are at human scale. Otherwise, if you have 1 mile, nobody is going to walk. We need to have some stores so that it's nice to walk through the streets. No? Things like that. No? So they are rethinking what this guy thought 150 years ago. This is a little bit of criticism. These are covers or parts of videos of official text from European Union. I don't know what's the future of Euromobility, but this will probably be not the future. Things like this, like people movers, can have a role, but I don't think they are a generic solution for European, at least for European cities, or this kind of infrastructure like Scalectric. I don't think is what we need, what we want, or we can afford. No? The row below has only one conclusion. Teleportation of people, of atoms, whatever, it's only appears in science fiction or cartoons. This is the kind of cities that we envision: livable, convivial, and efficient too cities. For example, instead of this an automatic system to people mover like an automatic warehouse in our cities, well, we have pretty soon we have taxi cabs right now with a driver. It can be collective, not just individual, collective taxi cabs like they are being used in many cities. Then we take the driver out. We have share cars, and then in the near future, already we already have these cars, but maybe in 5 or 10 years we're going to have unmanned vehicles, collective vehicles like tramways, like BRTs, bus rapid transit systems, and of course walking and cycling. This is the priorities. As you can see, we need to put first walking, the people, then public transportation, and third, the car. Now I'm taking the risk that somebody shoots at me, but I think that ICT is very important, but immobility is just operational. It's very nice to have information. We can improve many things, but just in the operational side, we can get improvements. Maybe altogether 10, 12, 15, maximum 15%. What is really important is to have and keep enough infrastructure to maintain it right, to have nice vehicles, nice and environmentally friendly energy, and of course use the information to optimize and to talk all between, like the speakers before me said, to bond everything. No? Here you put brains are chips, brains are sensors. Sometimes we get technology that doesn't have chips and is smart technology. Here I put these 2 circles that they are still using in Barcelona to regulate the loading and unloading time. Half an hour, two pieces of paper. They didn't need more accuracy. This is pretty old. Probably now we will be changing into GPS, and then we can charge by the minute, by peak hour, non-peak hour, night, whatever. No, yeah, a lot of stuff. But at the beginning, it's just the first step. They said, well, we just need this. We just need to discriminate. These people, do they want to spend time more than they should? No, they are working. Every minute counts. So we just need to discriminate that people that maybe that has a shop and has a car that with his loading and unloading sign, but now he's working. He's not loading and unloading. He's working like we are doing right now. So this guy should be parking somewhere else, not using this spot. And of course, as we have seen, a lot of applications, social networks, and smartphones. Here, several examples that I'm not gonna see all of them of these behavioral things. We need to take into account the stakeholders' behavior, how people behave, how people make decisions. No? For example, the Segway. Nice idea. Of course, it's not very new. It's not a strategic invention. It's tactical. We had an electrical scooter. They put these wheels, bigger wheels. They put the wheels in parallel, so it's cool. Where do you put this in a city? Sidewalk? No. In the regular lanes? No. We don't know what to do with this. If we need to carry somebody else, then you need another platform. If it rains, you need to cover it. At the end, if you want to have to drive into non-smooth pavements, you need to put 4 wheels. If you want to carry something else, a load, then you need to put this trailer. At the end, you are discovering or you are reinventing a small car. Share bicycles, some car sharing systems, some high occupancy vehicle lanes. I'm not going to go into examples. Some inventions of this, the cardboard bicycle, some, you see these vehicles here. No? Probably they'll have some demand, but they're not going to be of a big success in a demand from a demand point of view. I'm sorry, I'm not talking about epic or bold changes. I'm talking about smooth, transversal improvements, systems approach, re-engineering of known ideas. But this is a good example. Nespresso. Everybody knew that the best coffee in the cafes would be this one that is individual. But the trick is to make it cheap and being able to do it at home. It's like, to me, this is an example of re-engineering of the coffee. Like low-cost airlines are an example of re-engineering of the business. So innovation to me is doing the things right, and intelligence is more research, development, and innovation. And especially in the city, we have a lot of multidisciplinary cross-fertilization. You see how we're going to see this mode promiscuity. When I say this word, then the students pay attention. And convergence. The car that wants to become a motorcycle, smart, a small car. The motorcycle that wants to become a car. There are several. One is successful in terms of demand. I'm not talking about profits. I don't know. I was told that it's not successful about profits, but about demand. And the other doesn't have a penetration enough. You see how these trees of modes in a city, when I was studying, they were very simple. Buses, private cars, bicycles, and pedestrians, and all of them were independent. Now they are more and more interrelated, and some things that we don't know what they are, more or less. And here at the bottom, I put this an example of cities that are more complex, that everybody is doing things at the same time, many different things, and then the superposition of everything is smoothing the curves, which is the demand according to the time. A city that is more primary, everybody does the same at the same time. They go to have whatever, they go to work or study, they come home, have lunch, and then they go back to work or study, and then they come home. No? For example, this one of Sao Paulo. No? That was surprised that a large city, everybody does the same at the same time. No? I call them male or female cities. Personalization, of course, is nice. No? If we can afford it, everybody looks for a personalization, or even with these bus stops that, you know, probably more like a kind of a joke, but they are real. They are real. No? But beware with the coolness, no? The danger of, oh, this idea is cool, this bicycle is cool, or this energy is cool. So each mode will have a variety of this promiscuity, no? But it's going to be the same concept. I'm not going to go, you know, the small car, the motorcycle, the electric bicycle. I'm not sure that will converge with a motorcycle because of mentality. Could be the same, but the mentality is different. Oh, sorry about this. Yeah, again, more. BRTs, tramways, metros. Again. Here I had some economic principles. I'm going to skip them. Sorry about this. Yeah. But two names important. Arthur Pigou, the father of this internalizing the externalities through a tax. The economists call this Pigouvian tax, and William Vickery, the father of studying congestion charges. And we have been implementing, and here I have some examples only, but there are many, many more in Europe, and especially in Norway. They were pioneers, smaller cities. No? But we just implemented pricing. In South America, they implemented restrictions. No? The optimum is a mix of both. No? There are recipes for sustainable urban mobility, but what is very important is to have real planning as opposed to false planning. Density, concentration, integration. Ecomobility here, walking and cycling. I think we have to be ready for electrical bicycles, and they're going to, in Europe, they're going to be an important issue in many cities. Now, bicycles are very important now in many cities already, but there are some others, cities that have a slope, like Barcelona, for example. Electric bicycles will be important. Public transport, transit, hierarchy of modes of performance, including taxi cabs. Collective taxi cabs are also public transport. Microbuses, buses, BRTs, whatever. All this can be redesigned and re-engineered. And we are doing this, and we're implementing this in several cities. We call this concept NetBus, the high-performance bus. Traffic, I'm finishing, there is one left. Traffic, managed lanes, traffic congestion regulation. There is some macroscopic fundamental diagram discovered 3 years ago that will permit to regulate the number of cars within a part of the city, congestion pricing, emissions, urban safety. And here I have the European Parliament commissioned to several people some insights about the future, some reflections, and this is my reflection. I gave that to Elena and Elizabeth, so you can have it. Ins and outs, I'm not going to follow this, but pedestrian, bicycles, whatever, in and out, segways, whatever. So conclusions. This is Barcelona model of mobility based on safety, sustainability, social equity, efficiency, and agreement, a deal, and social consensus, and metropolitan perspective. Package of soft management measures has been a package. It's not one or two things, a package of many things. Re-engineering of current mobility services, focus on the people and stakeholders, promiscuity and convergence, but let's be aware about the coolness. Emissions and energy issues will improve, but the urban safety, why? Because we're going to start using more electricity, more different energies that are not based on fuel, but safety and congestion will remain probably. The major concerns of the cities will also remain about water, energy, and climate change. And we need new functional laws and governance in mobility, and finally, we need a European policy and guidelines, regardless of subsidiarity. Thank you very much.